I'm going to teach you how to get a snake like this to this. I've heard it a million times. If you hold your snake and it bites you, the best thing you can do is carry on holding that snake. And that is the worst myth ever. And in this video, you're going to find out why. Really no such thing as an aggressive snake, okay? Snakes only bite when they're either hungry or just being defensive. So what you have is a hungry snake or a nervous snake. Either way, this video is going to help you to overcome your fear and help your animal overcome its fear of being held and you holding it. Right now, I'm currently out on a walk with Grog. Snakes are like people. You get hundreds and hundreds of personalities, and that can affect when or how often or even how you handle your snake. So maybe you've brought a baby snake home, or maybe it's an adult. Either way, you want to know how to handle it and when to handle it. So the first thing I'm going to say to you is don't touch the snake. I know that sounds so crazy, but it's true. Do not touch the snake until it is at least settled in and had one meal. Because if you touch it and go to hold it or disturb it and it's not even settled in yet, it's basically less likely to eat and less likely to feel comfortable in its environment, which can cause health problems later on down the line. Ensure that your snake is well settled in before you even try to hold it. If you go and buy a baby snake, you might end up with just a tame one like little Alaska here. She's pretty tame herself. Like, we haven't had to put any work into her. That can be down to the species of the snake as well. Ball pythons tend to be a lot more relaxed, a lot more laid back, and oftentimes they just stay in a ball. So this is Alaska snake, and as you can see, due to her being a milk snake, she's basically a lot more active, a lot more wriggly, and a lot more outgoing. It's definitely important to hold them at least once a day, especially while they're young, because repetition is key when it comes to reptiles, because they're going to get used to you and your smell and just being held in general. She's already calmed down within 2 minutes of me just having her out. That's why it's vital that you spend a lot of time with them when they're young. There is no such thing as a snake that can't be tamed out. There is just snakes that take a lot more time. When you're holding the snakes, especially if they're young, keep your hand moving around their head, because this will stop them becoming head shy when they're older. And basically what head shy means is when you go towards a snake and you put your hand near their head and they quickly result back, it often frightens people. If you've just fed your snake, do not hold your snake within at least 48 hours after it's had its meal, as this time it's going to be digesting its food, and the last thing it's going to want is you picking it up, which could cause your snake to regurgitate, which is very bad for the snakes and something that we want to avoid. You're in front of your vivarium and you want to hold your snake, but your snake now for a few weeks has actually been quite problematic and has struck for you a couple times. So now you're a bit nervous. Ask yourself, has your snake eaten in a while? Because 9 times out of 10, your snake's going to strike at you when it's hungry. If it hasn't had a meal in a while, I can guarantee that that is the problem and the cause of your snake's aggression. Make sure your snake is eating, settled in, and in a stress-free environment. Maybe your snake's in a really loud room. Maybe you've got the TV blasting all the time, you've got kids running around, or other pets or animals making a disturbance to the snake's peace. If so, try moving the snake to a quieter room where it feels more relaxed and more secluded, so it isn't going to feel stressed and the need to be more alert all the time. That way the snake will calm down over time and feel a lot more relaxed, and you can work with it in a much more peaceful environment. The body language of your snake is the most important, okay? Because with reptiles, it is literally all about respect, okay? When a snake is stressed out and is not relaxed, the snake is normally in a tense position and its tongue licks are not as frequent and they're sort of like more static, if that makes sense. Their tongues go and pause and pause, and their eyes will just directly be facing you. Some snakes see heat signatures, so if you're coming towards the cage, you're 37 degrees. Well, I hope you are, and if not, you should go to the doctors. You're going to be bright red, and the snake's going to see you as either a threat or food. So the snake will be in an S position, so its head will be in an S position. That doesn't always mean the snake's going to strike, because some snakes just like to sit in that position. You've got to read how your snake is flicking its tongue, how your snake is acting, and how your snake is moving. If your snake is just sat still in one position and has been for a while and hasn't moved and it's still looking directly at you, then I would start to say, like, yeah, your snake wants to bite you. Another thing we've got to talk about is you yourself. How are you as a snake handler? Are you confident? Make sure you're confident when handling your snake, because if not, your snake will sense that you're anxious, it will just make things a lot harder and the process a lot harder. So be a competent snake handler. If I'm going towards a snake, the last thing I want to do is hesitate around the snake, because the longer you wait to pick up the snake, the more than likely the snake's going to go back to defensive mode because it doesn't get what's going on. Don't swoop it up aggressively, obviously, but just make sure you go to it straight away and you pick it up in a nice, calm, effective way, but don't take all day about it. Don't keep coming back and forth like this, because that's only going to tease the snake and create sort of a feeding environment for the snake, where the snake's more than likely going to strike for your hand. Now, there are a few tools you can use when handling snakes, such as snake hooks. Snake hook basically is a long pole with a hook on the end, and basically this hook allows you to scoop under your snake. You're basically using it to redirect the snake in the direction that you want it to go. Just using it to direct its head so it doesn't say go under your bed or under the sofa or into your cup of coffee. Don't use it as a baton to push your snake away. You're basically using it to guide your snake. Do not use one if you don't know how to use one. If you do want to know how to use one, I can make a video, so let me know in the comment section down below. Sometimes if you hold your snakes at night when they're more active, they might be more willing to come out and play nice, if you will. Other times, if you go into them in the day and they're hiding away for the day and you go and disturb them, they're going to be a bit more angry, I suppose, because you've just disturbed them from their beauty sleep, which snakes need beauty sleep. If it's already in a stressed mood, then don't hold it. Let it calm down and just spend some time outside of the vivarium with it and just chill out with your snake. The more your snake sees your presence and smells you, the quicker it will become accustomed to that smell and learn that it's not a threat. You can have a really good relationship with any snake as long as you put the work in. There is no snake out there that can't become tamed. It's just some are a lot more harder than others. Snakes can become stressed out really quickly, so it's important you understand your snake's body language, because basically if I've got a snake and I've took it outside and, you know, say Gloria for instance, I could have her out for hours and she won't get stressed at all. But if I bring out Crumpet, within 2 minutes she's already got stressed, because that's just who she is and she needs that extra work. You've got to understand that some snakes have different patient levels. Gloria is a really patient snake. She'll let me boop her, she'll let me hold her however I want. I can have her around my neck. Crumpet, if I put Crumpet around my neck, I can guarantee I'll have 4 new piercings by the end of the handling session. And I don't blame Crumpet for that, because she's just doing what her instincts are telling her to do. Dogs will run or bark or bite when they get scared. Snakes, they can only bite. So understand that when a snake bites, it isn't actually a nasty snake. It's just a snake trying to protect itself and its territory. Don't take it out on your snake. Don't get mad at your snake, and don't lose patience with your snake. You see a lot of people, they get bit once and then they don't like it because their confidence is gone. Well, it's up to you as a snake owner to understand that when you bring the snake home from the start, you're going to have walls that you're going to run into with handling, feeding and everything. So would you give up on an animal feeding it if it stopped eating? No, you wouldn't. You'd carry on, find different ways on feeding them and try and support them, just like handling. Maybe you've just gone and picked up an already aggressive snake and now you're stuck because you're like, oh God, how am I going to get this snake out? It's just going to bite me. This is obviously why they didn't want it. Now I'm stuck. Listen, you're not stuck, because I'm here to help you. Calm down. You're happy, you're in a good place, right? The bigger the snake, right, okay, the more power, the more force. So you're not only going to put the snake in danger at this point, you're going to put you in danger also. So you have to take your time with bigger animals and even smaller animals. Sometimes if they're getting too stressed, take your time with them. By that I mean baby steps. Start from the very beginning. Just because an animal is fully grown doesn't mean it's mentally up here, it's calm, it hasn't had time to become accustomed to human life. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to wake up, you're going to go and sit near that snake's enclosure. Okay, every time you go into that snake's enclosure, you're just going to leave the door open a little bit and sit by it and sit there and watch. Even though you think your snake isn't seeing you or isn't coming out, it will smell you. Okay, these animals are really smart and intelligent, and it will smell you probably before you've even opened the enclosure. They can sense vibrations. So I don't know if you've ever watched Avatar, but there's a character in Avatar called Toph, and she's blind, but she can feel everything and see everything through vibrations. And snakes are technically just the same as that. They sense through vibrations before you even have seen the snake. That's why if you're out in the wild, a snake will be gone before you've even known It was there because it felt your vibrations. Just live around your snake. Spend some living time around your snake. Get a desk and a chair near the snake's vivarium. Do some work near the snake. Read books near the snake. Listen to Audible near the snake. Do whatever you want near the snake. After you've come over that stage, you're going to want to open up the vivarium more, and you're going to want to get just, say, a snake hook or something, and you're just slowly, not hard, because listen to me, you have to hold snakes gently, okay? They are living creatures, and you can go and hold a wild snake. I'm not telling you to do this, but I'm saying you can without it biting you if you are as still as a tree, okay? If you become the snake's tree, the snake's not going to bite something it's leaning on. If you're throwing the snake around like crazy, then of course the snake's going to come and bite you. But if you're gentle with the snake, 9 times out of 10, it will be gentle with you. You're just going to still want to gently keep on just stroking the snake's back with the hook. And then eventually the snake will do one of 2 things. It will strike at you, and if it does, then you've got to learn to walk away and leave it be, and then try again the next day. And then eventually what should happen is the snake's tongue flicks should become more consistent, more calming. They know you're not a threat, and it should explore or just relax a little bit. So as soon as it started to explore, you know you can move on to the next step, and that's using your hand to touch your snake. It is a very slow process, I know, but if you want it, you've got to work for it. Just slowly touch your snake's back with your hand. Same thing again. Snake will probably S up, and it will probably strike. Walk away. Do less time. It's all about reading the snake. I can't make a video on how to handle every single snake, okay? I'm telling you a guideline basis that you could follow to understand your snake, so you can hold it easier at home and understand your snake's body language. You're not getting it out its vivarium yet, okay? That's ages away. Just pick the snake's body up in the vivarium. Hold it in its vivarium where it feels safe. Hold it in there, stroke it, lift its body. Again, if it's striking you at this point, go back a step, stay on that, work on that until it moves. It's going to take time, but it's worth it. Wait until it's confident, smelling, sniffing round, you know, just smelling with its mouth, smelling with its nose. Getting used to everything, getting used to you. Once you've done that for a couple of weeks and it's calm, then take it out its vivarium, following every step you have done to get to that point. Start off with the snake hook. Even at the point where the snake's confident with you, start off with the snake hook. Let the snake know that the snake hook is a sign it's just about to be held, so it can go back into its frame of mind where I'm okay, everything's fine. So snake hook, hand touch, pick up, okay? Make sure that your snake knows you're there. Never frighten your snake. Never just rip open your snake's vivarium and like scream and pick it up and it's just be calm. Work with it and take your time. And eventually your snake will get used to you. It will get used to being held, and you can start taking bigger steps. Put it around your neck, obviously, if it's safe. Don't put big snakes around your neck. It's not safe. By becoming accustomed to you, you've created a healthy mindset for the snake where it can come out and not have to feel like it's going to go back to its defensive mode and strike at you all the time. If your snake does bite you, it is really important not to pull back or lash out or do anything like that. Wedge something in between its mouth. Just give the snake time to relax and understand that it's okay. And if it's a massive snake and it's like an emergency, then there are ways that you can sort of get them off, but we're not going to cover that in this video. There are certain signs that some snakes will give when you're holding them or going to hold them. Some snakes will curl up into a ball, like the ball python, hence its name, the ball python, and that's just its way of feeling safe. There are other snakes, like milk snakes, that will literally launch into space to get away from you. They will literally fly. They will fly or musk. They produce, musk is basically scent that the snake produces out of its scent glands to deter predators away from themselves. Because I'm telling you, if you've ever been musked on, no matter how much you wash it off, it just sticks to you, okay? It's not good at all. I've been musked on plenty of times and I don't like it. The other defense mechanism is playing dead. Some snakes, like hognoses, actually play dead, and if your snake's at the point of playing dead, just don't touch it, leave it alone, and work with it slowly and gradually. There might be a point in someone's reptile life where they come across a snake that's just going to play dead every time they go near it. Some animals, you've got to learn to respect them and understand that that's just the way they are. If they're eating and they're thriving in that environment, but every time you go in to hold them, they just stop eating and they just flop over and act dead, and them snakes you've sort of got to just accept and work with, and they will take literal years to get anywhere with them. But if you're willing to put it in, then do it. If not, just respect the animal's boundaries. Every animal has boundaries, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to leave them alone and work with your animal, not against it. Just take your time with your snakes. Remember, they are living animals. They do have feelings, so don't rush them. Just because you want to get your new snake out doesn't mean the new snake wants to come out. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next one.